Investment pledges drop in the first quarter of the year, just as government readies its second tax reform package, which could rationalize fiscal incentives. But businessmen and experts are not too worried. Michelle Long tells us why.
Foreign investment pledges plunged 38% in the first quarter of the year to 14.2 billion pesos. This, as a proposal to rationalize fiscal incentives, hangs like a dark cloud over investors' minds. Japan is still the top source of investments, accounting for more than half of the total commitments, followed by the UK and Netherlands. In terms of where the money will likely go, manufacturing is expected to get the lion's share, followed by administrative and support services activities. Real estate came in third. Peter Wallace of the Wallace Business Forum says the uncertainty of Tax Package 2, which is being deliberated on in Congress, is leaving companies hesitant, since they don't know what tax they'll be paying or what incentives they might be entitled to. He adds this should be high priority because there's an urgent need to create jobs. Although Wallace clarifies he doesn't see a large number of companies leaving, given many businesses aren't eligible for incentives anyway. The American Chamber of Commerce says most of its members aren't beneficiaries of these incentives too. While the Chamber supports Train 2, it says the fiscal incentives program should be studied carefully, while corporate income tax cuts should come sooner.
So the AmCham position is to go to 20% and go faster at 2% a year, pointing out that currently with the Philippines at 30%, Indonesia at 25%, Vietnam at 21%, a 20% would actually make the Philippines more attractive than Singapore, given the lower costs here of housing, of labor, etc.
Forbes also points to a less grim picture of foreign investments using actual FDI data.
ESP figures for, as I mentioned, for 2017 and the first quarter of 2018, 60% of that $10 billion, or 60% of that $1.5 billion in the first quarter, are intercompany borrowings. The foreign companies that are here are borrowing money from their corporate headquarters to expand.
Meanwhile, UANP economist George Manzano says, while there is a slowdown in investment pledges from foreigners, there is a silver lining.
2017 pledges in the first quarter was lower than 2016. So you already have a low base, and it's even lower now. So actually, in terms of first quarter figures, this is the lowest in 8 years. If you notice in the pledges, if you include the local together with the foreign, it's a growth, which means the local investors at this point are more bullish than the foreign investors. We would be alarmed when the local together with the foreign would be pledging less.
Manzano adds some foreign investors may be worried they will soon lose their incentives. Experts clarify foreign investment commitments are just that, commitments, at least for now. And the tendency is for foreign direct investments or actual money invested in the country to turn out higher. They're hoping this time will be no different. Michelle Long, ABS-CBN News.